gonna go send it around the motocross track and see what happens, hit some jumps that we've never hit before. Luckily, we got Mike with the Doug Bug channel and Ratchet to show us how it's done.
Standing next to that, and also that, how does that make you feel?
Inadequate.
All right, guys, well, I'll be here holding the camera. Go have some fun. You seem nervous.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot at stake. I don't want to break anything.
Well, yeah, the whole frame twisted in.
Like, these jumps are not designed for this car at all.
He was not kidding. This is a burly track, man. Everything about this is wild. I'm actually a little bit nervous for the car. The amount of stuff packed into this little tiny track is insane, and it means that there's like this much room for error. For once, I'm not that jealous of Dylan sitting in the driver's seat, because I bet it's stressful.
Wringing the neck out of the little Miata. There is nowhere on this track that I'm not fully foot to the floor. So yes, I'm coming up a little short, but I'm giving it all she's got. We need a little more power in this baby.
Well, it's a good thing that we're basically supercharger masters now. I don't see what could go wrong.
Did we just blow up the motor?
We've got a used Jackson supercharger. Let's throw that thing in here, see if we can come back and notice a difference.
Dude, we 100% need that supercharger in there. That's happening.
Money I'm on, they wanna know what I'm on. Got diamonds dancing on my neck, that is the vibe I'm on. Drip way too lit, who gon' check? You can tell me no. Boss mode in effect, and my money long. If you ain't talking money, don't talk to me. I be over here with a.
What happened, bud?
On that last jump, I guess before the jump, my harness came undone. I didn't realize it. I go over the jump, I'm floating, hitting my head on the top.
Oh my God.
And I land and I was like, holy smokes.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're okay, Mike.
Yeah.
I bet that'll pucker you up.
Yeah.
Mike, real quick, why don't you run us through the old Doug Bug here?
So Doug Bug, or Ratchet as we have it here, is basically a custom built Baja based off of a Volkswagen Bug. The fiberglass panels were molded off of a Volkswagen, so I'm trying to keep it like a Volkswagen, but I tried to make him a little bit more radical. Like, he's got a Honda V6 engine, he's got a Weddell HV25 transaxle, 35-inch tires in the rear, 33-inch in the front, and he's independent suspension all around. He's a full tube chassis. He's not street legal, anything like that. It's meant merely for just off-road fun like we are right here. Like, it took about 5 years to do all this. I know the front suspension I made 3 different times, so it was a very, very long process. It didn't happen overnight. Keep in mind, I just put it back together as well, so it's usually not this clean. To put the time and the money into it that I did, and then to be able to come out here and actually use it, it's incredibly gratifying.
Now that we know what you're capable of, what do you think about what we're capable of?
As far as a Miata, I think this has already surpassed my expectations. And I'm not in a negative way. It's just a Miata is a unibody car. To have one out here standing up high on 30-inch tires that can jump and actually do some off-road stuff is amazing.
Heck yes, Dylan! That was so sick! Oh, you did it! Oh! Dylan, you finally got a proper jump, my guy. Are you stoked or what?
Heck yeah. Yeah, that one feels so good. That's the best feeling one. The run-up sucks, but that's a blast. It flies so good.
Brandon thinks you should shift in the air on this one so that you can gap the bottom one.
That might be the move. It's a weird one.
Yeah, there's not quite enough time to shift and get on the power.
Yeah, I could try it. I've never tried in air shifting, but
try an air shift. I bet it would be epic.
Yeah.
And just shift it and then floor it, and then I bet you that thing you'll clear that one pretty easy.
Yeah.
It'd be a first.
Yeah.
You guys were absolutely rocking those laps, man. That was sick.
I can't even walk straight.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was so much fun.
Dude, and I saw you finally cleared the
did
big
it.
one.
3, not 4, 3 times.
Yeah,
That
you
was,
did.
Oh my God. Is he going through the corners faster?
He has to. So he's
Yeah.
mobbing through the corners
Got to.
versus you have the acceleration
Right.
to like
Really?
chill through the corner and then jump.
Then get on it. Yep.
Versus if Dylan
That's always
doesn't.
the Miata secret. Like that's
okay.
why I mean even at road courses.
Because I know on my turns, some of them I'm just like almost stopped.
There's
pivoting
there's a
around,
few
and then,
where I am.
and then I'm like, as I'm coming up to the jump, I'm just like, what? Accelerating right up it.
Yeah.
Look, you don't have to brag about having 2 extra cylinders. We get it. We get it. I think you did it.
I think you did too.
Well, that is a sight you never want to see. Right there is a little Dylan. Oh, a flat!
There's these stupid bumps all over the place, and it bumped me, and I went right into the wall, and just I mean the whole front end's destroyed.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the whole frame twisted in, I think. Look at the gnarly angle on that.
Yeah, yeah. Of all the things, like we jump massive jumps all day, and it goes fine, and then one dumb little bump ruins it. I mean, I think it's toast.
Yeah.
Have arrived at the scene of the crime. So what happens is you hit this bump right here, and it upsets the car. And I was going quick. I was sending it, coming flying in through here, second gear, and then yeah, just lost control and straight into the wall. It's a pretty skinny little.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you wanted to carry more speed through the toilet bowl.
Yeah.
Dirt versus suspension. Dirt wins.
Dirt wins the day. Let's get back into the rad factory and tear this thing apart, see what we really damaged.
You got to give me something to do, I guess.
We actually had a pretty long list of projects we want to knock out for you guys, but here we are. All right, we got the Baja Miata in the shop. Let's evaluate the damage. We're on a string of pretty bad luck here at the Rad Factory. If you guys saw the video, we just blew up our twin-charged drift car, and now we got to try and fix this one too.
Don't forget where we accidentally backed into the garage.
I wasn't going to tell him about that part. Yeah, bringing it off the trailer yesterday didn't go well, but you guys don't need to know about that.
In all fairness, it wasn't your fault. It was this fault. You got turned by the actual body of the car because our A-arm is all the way back here, and it shouldn't be.
All right, so quickly evaluating. We can see that for sure the subframe is bent back right there, so new subframe guaranteed.
This control arm is pretty roasted. As you can see, it's pretty well twisted up. We're unclear whether or not it's bent as well.
It's really hard to show on the camera, but it is very bent. Yeah. Right, this zig shouldn't zag. This should be straight.
First up, we literally just have to tear everything off, see what it looks like. But hopefully, it's just mostly subframe stuff, and God willing, there'll be a way for us to recreate this right here. That's going to be the hardest part, I think.
Very big question is if our coil over bent and is ruined, because these are also very expensive.
Well, as we like to say, ain't nothing to it but to do it. We just got to start ripping stuff off this car.
We got the shock out, and this is probably one of the bigger deals just because of how expensive these are and rare to find in this size.
It looks straight enough. We won't really be able to tell until we take the springs off. Then we can run it through a full cycle and see if it binds or does anything weird. This top end doesn't seem too jacked up. So if we're lucky, we only have to worry about this guy down here that is very jacked up.
In an ideal world, we didn't bend any of this, and we can just recreate this section and weld it right back on. I've technically done it before on the original off-road car, so it does work.
But also the old off-road car drove poorly.
Right, that is the downside. Every time you crash the car and rebuild it like this, it starts to drive worse and worse. Look at this crazy dent right here from the lower control arm. It smashed up into our frame right there.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
This subframe bolt is going to be very hard to get to since this is bent so much back. We might have to chop that off.
Jeez, yeah. This is gonna end poorly with you filming, and I'm glad you're filming because this is gonna end poorly. There it is.
There we go. Before we can drop the subframe, we have to support the engine. The normal engine hoist would just like get in our way when we're trying to drop it down here. So instead we're building like a frame thing to then use some ratchet straps and hold it. You thought the best way to do this was to drill holes in the car?
Yeah, we weren't using that part. That's for sure not going anywhere. Take our subframe off.
Everything's disconnected, now it's time to just drop it. When everything else fails, use a bigger hammer. Is the bent bolt gonna come out though? That is savagely bent.
That's almost like you hit a wall going very fast.
I would have thought dirt would be softer, but I guess not.
That's wild.
Stuck in there.
Yeah.
So there's no way the control arm could be bent, right?
Right, yeah. There isn't a lot of like flaked off bent powder coating, so that's a good sign. That's close enough for our purposes. I think it's okay. We just have the one control arm to contend with. And it's not as bad as one would imagine. Flop that over it. I do think the tubing held, so we just have to re-engineer our own version of that end piece. Huge shout out to our buddy Brian. You've seen him on the channel a bunch. He cut us out some new parts so that we can finally
Quiet on the set.
He cut us out these sweet new parts on his plasma table so that we can build us some new A-arms. We're just gonna chop right there, rebuild that, and hopefully we'll get this thing back up and running.
You got everything cut off the old control arm.
This guy goes here on the side, just like that. We are gonna have to make one of these as well.
Gavin gets to use his new plasma cutter.
Too much juice for our 120, but it was cutting.
That's why we use the CNC when we can.
Yeah, it's also first time using it. Still a little shaky graves. We are pretty much dialed. Set us up like that. That's our A-arm.
Basically good as new.
It's as close as we could get. It looks better than I thought it would look, if I'm being honest. If I've done this with any degree of accuracy, those should be really close. So this might be a little bent. They're not exactly perfect back here. I'm honestly pretty pleased with that. That's what, like maybe 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch variance, and it's an off-road trophy truck Miata car. Like, I don't know how good we can get.
As Gavin likes to say, we're not building a space shuttle here. 1/4 inch tolerances will do.
Here's what our control arm looks like now. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with it. Nothing too crazy. We got a coat of paint on there. Hopefully this is as strong, if not stronger, than it used to be. Only one way to find out. So fortunately, this is a Miata graveyard back here. And from one of our many projects, the original off-road car had a spare subframe bolted to it. We've since grabbed that subframe. Now I just gotta clean this thing up. Should be good to start bolting it onto the other car. Hopefully the unibody is still pretty much intact and everything will bolt up with this new subframe.
Some stuff's bent. It's not lining up like it at all. So the entire frame of the car is bent and our non-bent subframe now does not fit. So the only thing we can do is enlarge the holes that bolt the subframe to the frame and hope it works.
Sorry, buddy. I think you're gonna be in the way.
Had to battle with the subframe, taking it in and out and enlarging holes and then retapping the threads that are in the body, but we got it.
New and improved control arm going in.
Just like new, look at that.
Yeah.
All right, I see a wheel on there. How we doing?
Dude, I think everything clears. Even at full lock, we don't have any rubbing, I don't think. We actually repaired this. So, get this other shock in. And then we have a car again. A working vehicle here at the Rad Factory. Who would have thought?
So weird. Why would we want working cars when we can have all the broken ones?
Fortunately, we're gonna supercharge this, and we have a 100% track record of supercharging stuff, so.
All right, broken car coming right up. That'll probably be the next video, so you guys gotta stay tuned for that. But let's get this at least so it can drive out of the garage.
Yep, we'll get this under its own power. We'll get this to drive out, and then we'll pull it back in and plug in a supercharger. Woo! A little bit more. Oh, that's it.
Off-road car problems, you have to have the jack go up so high. We have two 2x4s under it, and it still barely goes. First time under our own weight in like 2 weeks, so solid improvement.
The key is to have a very low starting point, and then everything feels like improvement. That's a little life hack for you.
So here's how to do an alignment on an off-road Miata. We have the wheel straight and this tire straight. This one less so.
This one is what you would call a no bueno situation. Aha! That felt unpleasant. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with it. It's a really complicated, very sophisticated method, so I'll shorten it up. I'm just looking at it.
And when we both agree that it looks good, then it's good.
It was reasonably straight last time and you still hit a wall, so bar's pretty low.
Our bump steer, we haven't gotten rid of our bump steer, I think was the problem.
It had nothing to do with getting too exuberant.
I was definitely too exuberant, but the car was taking it. That's the problem, the car takes the exuberance until it doesn't. There's a very razor edge. And when you cross that edge, you go into a wall. When you don't cross it, you have fun.
The track is poorly designed in that area, which is why I think some people would have chose to go slower.
Our only problem still, can't open the door all the way.
Fortunately, there's no roof, just Dukes of Hazzard it, dude. My side opens. Steer, that's good. Feels tight to my side. Look at that! Dude, buttery over the speed bump. That's a win, dude.
Dude, yeah, it's perfect. We're back to normal. I honestly don't notice anything bad.
Well,
Well,
now
now I have
that-
alignment where you can no hand. I don't know if we've ever had that, to be honest. To break and fix the car in the same video, that's pretty rare, honestly. I can't believe we did that. We're gonna add the supercharger, but that'll be next video. Thank you guys for watching. Stay rad. As a special treat for those of you who watched to the very end of the video, this is coming very soon. 40 inchers on the Miata. It's gonna be a wild time. Thank you guys so much for your loyalty. We appreciate you.